Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to be talking about Remedy and Control's new co-op, as the title says, co-op shooter spin-off. We are on Kotaku today, and this is by Ethan Gotch. Thank you for the article. It will be down below in the description if you'd like to read along. The title goes, here's our first look at Control's horror-filled co-op shooter spin-off. The GIF, this is gameplay. The compression is awful, but so we'll be looking at something else. Remedy Entertainment's first multiplayer game is called FBC Firebreak, and it takes players back to the world of Control, the critically acclaimed 2019 paranormal Metroidvania. The co-op PvE shooter looks like a horror-filled funhouse, but the Alan Wake 2 studio is keeping its underlying story and deeper mysteries close to the vest for now. I didn't realize it until the article said it as well. I forgot that they haven't actually made a multiplayer game yet in any kind. It's always been single-player games. I really did think they made a co-op game or something like that before, but no, this is their very first one. It's going to be interesting how they take it. I think the story itself will probably be not as intense as the other games. I say that with caution because it is Remedy, so who knows what they're going to do. But co-op games tend to have a slower story. Maybe slower is not the right word. It's more of the story is second part to having fun with your friends. So I feel like the story is going to be a little bit less so. It's more going to be I feel like it's going to be a lore building, world building story more than like a character story, because I don't think from what I've seen of the game, our characters are characters. They are avatars. They're not named people. I think they're just our characters. Like, none of the characters are going to be like a Jesse from Control. They're not going to be named, I don't think. I mean, they're going to be characters, I'm sure, but I don't think our characters are going to be named characters. Maybe. It's Remedy, so who knows? Remedy tends to kind of flip the page on a lot of things. But, we'll see. Revealed during the latest Xbox Partner Showcase, FBC Firebreak swaps Control's third-person action for first-person shooting, with 3-player squads navigating familiar levels from a new viewpoint and with much bigger and weirder arsenal of weapons this time around. Honestly, one of the reasons why I'm very excited about this game is because the classes or I don't know if they're classes, but the weapons and stuff just look weird. They just look weird, and it's Control, so they're already in a mind-bending, time-weirdy thing. There's already weird stuff happening in Control's universe. So it's a perfect place just to go weird with creativity and just be like, yeah, but what if? There is so many what if scenarios, and I've already seen it in the trailer itself. There's already weird weapons. The big containment suits, chunky guns, and welding masks give it a light but undeniable BioShock vibe, in my opinion. There's no release date yet, but the mid-price game is due out sometime in 2025 and will be a day and date launch on both Game Pass Ultimate and PS Plus. The good thing is that yes, it is going to be a paid game, but it's not going to be a full price game, which is good because co-op games like this, it's hard to sell to most people at full price. Even though I kind of disagree with that, most people won't buy it though. So that's the main thing. The game has to sell. Also, I'm not entirely sure if I agree with the BioShock vibe. I don't know. I feel like, from what I can tell, I feel like Control has its own style, but I do understand where they're coming from with the BioShock vibe. I don't know if I agree with it, but I understand where they're coming from it. And we'll see later. This is the trailer. This is the full trailer, and from what we can tell, it is very much Control. It is very Control, which is good because it looks like it fits in the world. Even the enemies look like they fit in the world, which is very fun. And it's interesting that they went with 3-player co-op, because 4-player co-op is kind of like the in thing, but 3-player is pretty fast. And we're just going to pause here. So look at these weapons. These weapons are weird. First of all, this guy's got a wrench. What's on his back? This guy has got, I think it's a flamethrower of some kind. This guy's got a goop gun. It's just weird guns. And then you have the regular gun, and it doesn't look like there's ADS. It might be just for the trailer, but it doesn't look like there is ADS or zoom aiming down sights, which means it could be faster paced. Personally, I think in co-op games, most of the time I prefer games that you don't need to. It depends on the type of game you're playing, but I feel like this game, aiming isn't going to be a critical, obviously you need to be on your target, but aim down sights unless it's probably like a sniper or something like that. Probably won't be that big of a deal, but it also could be just for the trailer to make sure you can see everything. But like they've got grenades, they got the shotgun, they got regular guns, but then they got like this pistol grenade launcher, this goop gun. It's so interesting because like once again, it's Control. So the Control universe is weird in so many ways. And it's the electricity thing, like this little weird thing that you like they do the hardcore stuff, and it's got like that it's a taper. It's like a taper thing that normally used for groundskeeping. And this is the big one. This gnome rocket launcher thing, like it just explodes. I think they're calling those the like it's regular objects. It's from the Control lore. It's regular objects imbued with like paranormal magic or something like that. I haven't looked at the Control story in a long time. But yeah, so that is the trailer. Players spent Control story campaign navigating the oldest house, which is the environment that they were in. A serpentine homage to a brutalist architect and bureaucracy-infused horror. FBC Firebreak will bring them back, taking place after the events of the original game, to play what seems to be a cleanup crew who needs to purge the hiss, otherworldly evils from its various office cubicles and underground labyrinths. Player will also get to harness powerful artifacts on their missions. I'm pretty sure that gnome is like the artifact thing. So that may be like an ultimate ability or something like that. What I can say is that Firebreak crew has been cleared to carry paranatural augments, which are altered items engineered into tool attachments, which is what the gnome thing is. Gnome. Remedy communications director Thomas Pua said in an announcement on the Xbox Wire blog, like the garden gnome you saw in the trailer, there are more or less our take on ultimates. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that would be a ultimate ability if I've ever seen one. They're not to be taken lightly. I like to think of them as a jaguar in a box. Yeah, that makes sense. You carry the box, you point it at something, you open the box, and you kind of just hope the jaguar doesn't turn around and eat you or your friends instead. That's understandable. I'm interested to see if these three characters are three classes, or if it's like a loadout system. So you can be like, there's soft classes, you know, like you want a melee guy, a range guy, a mid-tier guy, a big guns guy, you know, like something like that. Remedy confirmed that FBC Firebreak will get post-launch updates, but didn't want to call it a full-fledged live service game. I think that's a good idea. You shouldn't call it a full live service game, because live service has a stigma, not just a stigma, it has an expectation of like frequent updates. And I don't think Remedy wants that. They want this game to be something like a Deep Rock Galactic, where everyone knows Deep Rock Galactic is a great game, and if they stopped updating the game right now, everyone would be sad because, you know, there's no more updates, but there's so much game in Deep Rock that it's like, yeah, they should go work on other things. Unless there's like a bug that destroys the game, then they fix that. They don't need to constantly be updating it every month, you know, like a live service game. Every 2 weeks there's a patch. No, every maybe once a year or something like that, there's a big update. Or maybe every 6 months or whatever they choose. It's like, hey, there's update coming for FBC Firebreak and it's adding this bunch of stuff. Hope you enjoy it. And maybe the DLC will also be, maybe it'll get DLC too. I mean, like, I don't think people would be super against it as long as it's worth it in their eyes. Because the main thing is, for at least for Remedy, is that they need this game not to be like a cash cow, but they need a financial success, because so far all of their games have not been financial successes, and that really sucks because Remedy makes good games. After Alan Wake 1 was rough, I'll admit. Alan Wake 1 was rough, but after that they figured it out. Control was really good. Alan Wake 2 was really good. So like I think they found their stride in the type of game. And I think the problem with Remedy in the early days was that their games were interesting, but the gameplay itself was weird and not really defined, and unfortunately sometimes not fun. But after Control, when they've realized, oh, we can make a very interesting game with a good story, interesting characters, good lore, but have the gameplay be fun. Because I think that was the problem with the first Alan Wake. And Alan Wake 2's gameplay is fun, with all the crazy bonkerness of being a Remedy game. The goal is to make it an easy to hop in, experience new stuff without making it feel like a second job. Yeah, that is also the problem with a lot of live service games as well. It's a pick up and play experience about having fun with your friends when you have the time. Puha said. Puha? I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm sorry if I'm not. That's not to say that FBC Firebreak doesn't have a deep player progression and things to unlock. It does. But this isn't about logging in every day for some loot or fear of missing out on materials. Yeah, like you're not going to be having daily login bonuses and stuff like that, you know? And I'm sure they'll have like, I'm sure there'll be events. I'm sure you'll have like events at some point, but like it'll be something like, you know, oh, this is happening, like a new update for the new mission type of thing, all that type of good stuff. If the spin-off can leverage the hunting environments and beautiful creepy vibes of Control to deliver some co-op action, some fun co-op action, that might be enough. This is Remedy we're talking about, so I'd still be shocked if there weren't plenty of Easter eggs, clues for fans for the original game to geek out about, or even weave into a larger Remedy verse the company has been building across all of its games. I agree. I don't think this game is going to be a story hard hitter, but I think Remedy is Remedy, so there's going to be something interesting about it, and they're just going to have the Remedy. I feel like a cop out. It feels like a cop out saying this, but it's going to have the Remedy touch of it just being a Remedy game. So everyone's going to deep dive. They're going to look at every pixel of this game. Every level is going to be screenshotted, zoomed in 8K resolution to see if anything, reverse engineered, reverse like searched, everything. They're going to do everything. And the main either problem or good thing is that Remedy also knows that the players are going to do that. At least the really hardcore dedicated players of the Remedy verse, as the article says. Like, the players who love Control and Alan Wake will eat this type of stuff up. So this game is going to be combed over with a fine tooth. Combed over with a fine tooth brush is what I was trying to say. And I think they know that. So they'll probably have some cool stuff in there. For me personally, I'm not nearly as deep as some other people. I do enjoy looking at the games. Unfortunately, I haven't played the Alan Wake games, and I've played a little bit of Control. The Alan Wake games, the problem with Alan Wake for me is that I'm not a huge fan of horror, and even though Control is kind of horror, it's not really. It's more creepy than horror, but I still want to enjoy those games, right? So I'll be definitely, hopefully, buying this game when it comes out, as long as it doesn't like come out and it's like, oh, literally nothing works. Because I don't buy games right away. I wait for some reviews just in case, because, you know, fortunately, you never know with these games. But to be fair, Remedy has been pretty good about this. And it's not like it's not like it's coming out tomorrow or something like that. It's coming out next year, and it already looks pretty good. I'm more interested in how they're gonna do the progression system on unlocks. I'm interested if they're doing like a loadout system, or if they're doing a class system where certain classes only have certain things. I'm not sure which one I prefer. I think right now, during this moment right now, I would say I prefer the class system, but that doesn't mean I don't like the loadout system. It's just I think it's easier to make class identities and have an idea to be fun around classes. To be fair, they did talk about ultimates and stuff like that, so maybe that's probably, I find it hard to balance is not the right word I'm looking for, because I'm not saying you should nerf things if they're too strong. I'm saying like there should be everyone should be having fun, and everyone shouldn't feel the need to pick the thing to have fun. If you try to understand what I'm trying to say here, of like almost like a meta style thing of like you don't want to feel the force to pick something because it's meta, or because you need to because of certain difficulties or whatever like that. I mean, I understand. Sometimes you need to pick the right tool for the right job, but buildcraft and like cool things, I think, are kind of the fun in co-op games, like getting a cool build. And I feel like classes help that in a lot of way, because having restrictions on a class forces people to be more creative than just having an open-end loadout system where everyone just picks out the best item. I feel like that, maybe that's just me. It could just be me. And maybe I'd be loved to be proven wrong. And Remedy would be the people who try to prove me wrong. So, yeah. Thank you all for watching today's video. I will be keeping up to date on this story. If you'd like to subscribe and keep up to date with me, I'd appreciate it. Join YouTube memberships if you'd like to support me directly. Comment down below what you think of this game, if you're going to be buying it, or if you prefer PvP. I'm kind of in more of a PV co-op game more, other than like Deadlock. So thank you all for watching. If you'd like to follow me on other places, I have a Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and a Bluesky now. Thank you all for watching me, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye, everyone.